This podcast is sponsored by Happy Warrior Kava. Be a happy warrior. Drink, relax, and enjoy the strong and smooth taste of the best-selling kava in the islands. Happy Warrior Kava.
Aloha and welcome to another edition of HNN Overtime, the Hawaii News Now sports podcast, coming to you from the HNN Digital Center. I'm Kyle Chinen, joined as always by Cienna Pilotin, Davis Pitner.
Oh, I love the graphics.
The graphics are graphicing right now.
Davis.
Yes.
It's that time of the year.
It is that time of the year, the playoffs.
The playoffs, yes.
Playoffs.
Almost to the Super Bowl.
The Final Four.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not basketball, folks.
No.
The
Not
National
basketball.
Football League. We will get to them in a sec. We have a packed show for y'all, folks. We're going to start things off with something that happened this past weekend. Sticking with football, the Polynesian Bowl, the 2024 Polynesian Bowl. Some of the top prospects in the nation and around the world. You got some guys from American Samoa represented in this game as well. It was Team Mauka representing the mountains and Team Mackay representing the ocean. That's the intro.
That is literally true.
You know what?
That is what it means.
I was rewatching the broadcast, and every single year of the Poly Bowl, that's the line that Kanoa says in his intro, like, representing the mountains. So, you know, some of the top guys going at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a lot of flash this year, not just in their uniforms, but these players were cooking.
I also looking at those uniforms, I couldn't help but think about the Seahawks for some reason when I was looking at those uniforms.
The thing is, when those got released, I could have sworn, well, maybe it was like the coloring of the lighting in the promo video.
Yeah.
I swear it was black. But like in person, it is that like navy,
It's definitely
navy blue, very Seattle Seahawksy. There you see Isaac Kavika Wilson getting picked off, unfortunately. But he was
just like his
brother. Yes.
Oh,
Jets. That
younger brother of Zach Wilson, of course.
Shout out to my younger brother who's a Jets fan. He is in eternal turmourl being a Jets fan. So Team Mackay was in the white with Isaac Wilson. Team Mauka were in the white, and Team Mackay was in the deep navy blue. Team Mackay beat Mauka 28-17. Now, it was actually kind of an exciting game. You know, you might not think an all-star game would have a lot of points.
Yeah, everyone kind of stay healthy, not get a lot of reps in.
Yeah, not a lot of the big stars would have played the whole time, but I mean, they were hitting. They were hitting.
That was quite a hit.
Team Mauka was up 17-0 at halftime, but Team Mackay went on a spree in the second half, 28 unanswered points to win it, led by the number one quarterback in the class of 2024 and Nebraska commit Dylan Raiola. He is the son of Dominic Raiola. He is a kind of a high school football legend here in the islands, and obviously a long-time Detroit Lion. We'll get to those guys in a couple segments, but there you go. He's tossing the rock in that piece of B-roll right there. Super fun, guys.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it was just really surprising to see the amount of reps that he got as the number one quarterback in the nation, as a Nebraska commit. You would expect him maybe a quarter at least, but I mean not much longer than that. I mean it's always such a big risk in these games,
absolutely,
that you could get injured.
And you want to give the other guys a chance to play too,
right?
You know.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
In that quarterback room, quote unquote, for Team Mackay was Raiola, UH commit Micah Alejado, and Punahou's Ty McCutcheon, who I believe is going to Utah Tech.
Oh.
I believe he signed with Utah Tech. So, you know, a lot of Hawaii connections on that sideline as well. They both played sparingly, really. Alejado and McCutcheon. Alejado threw 2 errant interceptions, which is kind of crazy to think about because
what was the whole tea on that?
Yeah, he hadn't thrown an interception in like 2 years prior to those.
That was the one thing that we were hyping him up about too.
He
hasn't thrown a single one.
Yep.
I mean, what can you expect? I mean, these are the best of the best.
Do it now.
Exactly.
Do it now before UH.
And you know, I talked to Raiola following the game, and I asked him, like, hey, man, this is an all-star game. You got Nebraska to think about. You played all 4 quarters. What's, like, why would you kind of not put yourself at risk, but for lack of a better term, put yourself at risk? And he's like, football is football. You go out there and ball. I'm like, I mean, hey, spoke for himself.
Not wrong.
Yeah, it was fun out there. Cool setting. Truth be told, not the easiest campus to get on. Kamehameha
so
Kapalama. I love I have a lot of friends that went to Kamehameha, and I know a lot of the staff there, but they know. Yeah. They know the getting on top of the hill, not the easiest task.
It's a little rough.
Yes.
It's a little rough, especially with all the gear.
Oh, the gear,
Doesn't make it easy, yeah.
And like for some reason it had been raining all week, Our guest last week, Drew Davis, was telling us that week, like, hey guys, get the umbrellas, get ready. That Friday afternoon was probably the hottest Friday afternoon I had experienced ever. And you're up on the hill. There's no clouds. I forgot my sunscreen. I got a little bit reds in the arm. I was like, I was baking.
It seemed like a good turnout over there, too.
Yeah. It was a sold-out crowd. And I'm not too sure the max capacity of Kunuia Kea Stadium, but, it was really cool. And it was really funny. There were a lot of kids out there. I was doing my live hits in for the shows on Friday, and right before I'm going on, I can hear it because my one ear has the show, so I can hear the newscast, and all I hear is, Mister.
Oh no.
Mister.
That's how you know.
Can you interview me? Can you be in the...
That's how you know
I know.
old. When you get called Mr. or Miss. I got called Auntie one time at a game. Like, that's how you know because I used to do that. I used to be Miss.
Uncle.
Yeah.
Uncle. Auntie. Yeah. No, that was back when, like, that was like your
oh my gosh,
into your first year.
I was literally like 22 years old at the time when that happened.
And
some kid called me auntie, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm good.
You text you like
the job. I'm done.
I'm putting in my 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm done.
It is such a stab to the heart. Yeah. When someone calls you Mister, and then that B-roll of the crowd, those were the kids that were like
very
Mister.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, come here.
It's weird. I mean, we're all getting up there, guys.
So.
Not really. I mean, we're still in our 20s.
Don't make it sound like
it's not that bad.
Yeah, don't make it sound like crazy. We're all in our 20s, guys. But and we still got a lot of career to go. Speaking of someone who is taking a break.
Good one.
That was good.
Yes.
That was pretty good.
I was hitting on that one, but speaking of someone who is taking a break from her career, Carissa Moore announced earlier last week that she is stepping away from competitive surfing. Davis, tell us more a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it came last week. I mean, I feel like when you think of surfing in Hawaii, Carissa Moore is one of the top names that pops up in your head. And obviously, I mean, just looking at everything that she's done, 5 World Surf League titles and a gold Olympic medal. She has been a huge shining star here, has represented Hawaii well, represented the entire nation well, I mean, in the Olympics.
Yeah,
I mean, she just absolutely crazy. But yeah, she announced it last week that she will be leaving following the Paris 2024 Summer Olympics, and she wants to start a new chapter in her life. I'm actually going to go over here to a little post that she made on Instagram, and this was really, I don't know, it was really kind of sad to see. In it, she let me just see. Yeah, in that third paragraph, she was just saying, unfortunately, the reality is the winds are fleeting and the feeling with it only temporary. I'm going to keep doing it for the empty win. There has to be more to it, which is kind of a crazy thing to read.
Aww.
It is kind of crazy with someone, if an athlete with so much success. Now it's come to the point where all those winning doesn't really mean that to mean that much. Like, the passion is kind of gone, which is kind of crazy. I mean, for such a standout surfer. So big surprise.
What more can she do?
Yeah.
And then, she talked a little bit about, like, now she's married and, like, starting a family soon and all of that. It's just like, this is real. Like, you get to the peak of your career and you accomplish pretty much everything in the world she could possibly accomplish. unless she kept racking up like gold medals. But at a certain point, I think her heart and her body and everything's just telling her it's time.
Absolutely.
It's just really sad though,
I
because
know.
she's just an inspiration to just obviously Hawaii people here, but just girls around the world.
I know.
They look up to her and the surfing community, and so shout out to her.
Yeah, I went to one of her signings. I think it was a little bit after the Olympics, or maybe a year after the Olympics, at a surf shop in town, and interviewed a couple of the little kids out there, and like they were so stoked to see her. And she's so sweet. She is such a sweetheart, and just so nice to talk to whenever we do get a chance to speak. But yeah, I mean, the WSL schedule is crazy. It's almost like professional golf, where it's like, unlike the NFL or the NBA or the MLB, they're all within, you have a game at home, or you have like a legitimate home base. For like the WSL, you're surfing around the world. So she rarely is ever home per se during a season. So she is, rightfully earned this next chapter and this break. And awesome family. We've interacted with them during the Olympics. They let us go to a watch party, and that was super fun. But no, I mean, congrats on not going to use the R word, but the step away, because you never know.
You never know. And I hope she does well in the Olympics. I mean, if this is the final time, then I hope she wins it all again. I hope she gets another gold, because that would be such a way to end off a fantastic career.
I know.
But hopefully this is just a step away.
Big NFL news.
I know.
Yesterday it was released that the Chargers' new head coach is Jim Harbaugh.
I like David said, I'm surprised.
Crazy.
He's back again.
Back in the NFL.
Back in the NFL. I honestly didn't see it coming. I mean, the Chargers, they were interviewing a bunch of coaches, and his name popped up, and I didn't think it was going to happen, honestly.
I didn't either. I mean, I know he had interviewed at other places. I think the Chargers, I think they're a good gig. Like, obviously, they're not known to be really well run within these last couple of years, but you have a good starting quarterback, more than good. Like, you have your guy. So that's number one. And I mean, LA is not a bad place to live.
The weather is way better than Michigan, than Ann Arbor, Michigan.
He's a Michigan guy, so like I'm sure he wanted to stay home, and all his family's there, and like obviously that's why before Detroit became so good, which we will talk about that later, people were like, maybe he'll take the Detroit Lions gig one day because he can stay at home with all his family. But cross country, SoCal living, it's not a bad one.
Not a bad trade-off. And I think since he was able to get that national championship this year, it almost made sense that like he felt that he'd accomplished what he set out to do at Michigan, his alma mater. But yeah, it kind of surprised me that Harbaugh kind of became the hot ticket item in the coaching carousel this year. I mean, a lot of talk about Bill Belichick and all these other guys, Mike Vrabel, but Harbaugh kind of emerged as like, oh, all these teams are like interviewing him, they want him, and the Chargers won that sweepstakes, right? I mean, like Cienna said, having Justin Herbert already established there in your system, you can build around him.
You really can.
And I mean, let's just be real. Harbaugh's track record in the NFL was pretty successful. Took the Niners to a Super Bowl, and I think this is probably one of the better hires this offseason in the coaching cycle.
Maybe he's learned a lot more when he was back with Michigan for the past 9 years. Maybe he's learned a lot. Maybe he's gained some experience since the Niners days. One thing I wanted to show that I thought was funny was the Chargers Twitter it is pretty clear that they are hyped up about Jim Harbaugh.
Followed by Kyle Chinen and Adam
Yeah,
Shepard.
Kyle Chinen is a follower.
I mean,
it doesn't get better than that.
What a two-name combo right there. You guys, and then you guys, the two others.
I don't. Oh, I don't follow the Chargers.
Actually,
I don't follow
I don't even
the
follow
Chargers.
the Chiefs, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Breaking news, folks. But yeah, I must say the Chargers do have one of the best social media teams in all of sports. I think, and so they got right on it. And their TikTok last night, I was watching some, is really funny. You guys gotta take a look.
Yes.
Like they're fully embracing it as they should. And I'm very nervous as a Chiefs fan to play Jim Harbaugh twice a year with Justin Herbert. But I think it only makes the league better by having him somewhere in the NFL.
I think, everybody is like, oh, all these good coaches in one conference. It just makes the division so much more exciting and unpredictable. It kind of sucks. I mean, for example, personally, being a Seahawks fan in the NFC West, when it's really just the Niners these last couple years, it's like, oh, dang.
Well, the Rams. Give the Rams
Well, I mean,
credit.
the Rams made the playoffs. Sorry.
Well, but the last couple of years, they've been good.
Yeah, the Niners and the Rams. But, just having that, battle between all four teams is honestly, really exciting, and it's just better football. But, yeah, the Chargers, the only reason I follow them is because they are one of the best social media teams, and I just laugh at all of their content. But
it's pretty good.
I think this is a good hire.
I think this is what Herbert
I'm
needs
sure
too, because he was a good quarterback. He just didn't have the right guy coaching him. I feel like, and now maybe Harbaugh can kind of get that offense going now. Help him out.
Do y'all remember when we were talking about Herbert getting that new deal, and we said, you know who he'd be good with? Taylor Swift.
He would be. He's so tall.
He's a tall, quirky guy.
I like him. I really do. He's one of those guys that, all their content of him and, him, avoiding the cameras and stuff, I really like Justin Herbert a lot.
It's so wholesome.
He's so wholesome.
I mean, hey, what did Drew Davis say last week? All roads lead back to Taylor.
Well, as you guys can see by the screens behind us, it is championship weekend. NFL playoffs continue.
Yeah.
We are so close to the Super Bowl, guys. We're down to 4 teams.
Ooh.
This is crazy. All these teams, I don't know who's gonna make it. I don't know.
You don't know, David?
Don't know?
I don't know, but I have I know what I want to happen, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. I think it would be awesome because I think everyone is feeling the 49ers are the better team, and the Chiefs Ravens, they're kind of even. I would look maybe leaning more towards the Chiefs. So I'm going to go with the Ravens Lions, actually.
Oh.
I want the Lions to make it. I'm all here for the Cinderella story.
Okay.
And I think that would be pretty cool if we mix it up a little bit. But
I think that's what the people want.
That's what the people
that's what
want.
the people
Davis
want,
is
right?
the man of the people.
He is the people's champ.
Yeah. And I put together a collaboration of the
Brock Purdy.
Yeah, the top players. Yeah, obviously, I mean, this is going to be a huge weekend. You have Lions 49ers, you have Ravens Chiefs, huge teams clashing. All the star players are going against each other. It's going to be crazy.
There she is.
I was reading the super banner, and I'm like, he really had to.
He had to.
He put Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
He put Taylor Swift before Christian McCaffrey.
As he should. I've never agreed with anything.
Who's gonna carry them more to the Super Bowl?
1000%.
Christian McCaffrey or Taylor Swift?
That's very true.
That is so true.
Well, the thing is, speaking of the 49ers Chiefs connection, will Taylor Swift be in another Kristen Juszczyk outfit?
Yeah.
That could help as
true.
well.
That
So
could help.
it could very well be Niners Chiefs based solely on the fact of that collaboration.
Who knows? I mean,
Who-
that's going to be the
who
biggest
really
question
knows?
of the weekend.
I
Forget
know.
the matchup.
Yeah.
What is Taylor
Yeah.
Swift wearing?
Yeah.
It's like,
Which suite is she going to be sitting in?
which suite? Oh my God!
'Cause
Is
it's
Mama Kelsey going to be there
Aw,
next to
know.
her?
I'm sure she
Will Jason
be.
Kelsey have a shirt on?
No.
Like, probably
Yeah.
not.
Probably
I
not,
love
no.
that.
The game is
I
in
love
Baltimore,
that.
correct?
Correct.
So, I mean, still another cold weather
gonna be
place.
cold.
So, and that didn't stop him in Buffalo. So, I'm all for
Yeah.
that. I'm a Jason Kelsey fan. That's
all
who I'm
for it,
rooting
too.
for.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say. So I gave my my picks. What are your guys's?
See?
Well,
See?
I'm gonna go for my Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
I
yeah.
think, whether we win or lose at this point, like, I'm just gonna ride it out. I'm not getting my hopes up too high, but I will stick with my Chiefs.
Okay.
And I think the 49ers are gonna win. So it'll be an all-red Super Bowl again.
Repeat of, what was that,
2020.
2020.
Yeah.
They didn't have
Alright.
Brock Purdy. They
They did not.
had Jimmy GQ.
Yeah, Jimmy
did.
G.
And we also had Tyreek. So
You
Yeah.
guys also
so
did
it's
have
not really the
Tyreek.
same. But yeah, I do think it will be a rematch.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, I think in the AFC Championship, I think if Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey can make it out of Baltimore, I mean, Baltimore is a hot team this entire season. But I mean, if they're able to get out of Baltimore with a win with the current roster that they have, which is, I mean, I know you're a Chiefs fan, but arguably the weakest roster
Oh,
that they've ever had
yeah.
with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
It would be a feat, but I will take the Chiefs going back to the Super Bowl.
Yay.
And for me, I think Detroit is a sneaky team. Like, yes, we know everything we need to know about the 49ers, Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, the whole thing. But I think the Lions can catch them one because they've been playing insane football. And it's not like they're blowing people out, but they're finding ways to win. That Tampa Bay game was extremely close up until the
Yeah.
very end. And they don't give up. They have all that grit and Detroit, Detroit versus everybody
And I mean, the
mentality.
Niners didn't play that well too.
And they
last
didn't.
week.
Yeah,
And-
it also depends if Debo plays or not because
Yeah,
he
that
has
too.
been
Mm-hmm.
he hasn't been practicing and all of that, so it's kind of like a game time decision.
Yeah.
If he doesn't play, then I totally think Detroit can take it.
So yeah, I think I'm sticking with that pick. I'm going Detroit, Kansas
Okay.
City, little red and blue action in the Super Bowl. The Cinderella story, man, you can't beat it. You really can't beat it.
Yeah.
And I mean, from Cinderella story to love story, Taylor Swift to the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness,
But it's true.
that's what the NFL wants. The
That
script
would be
the
Yeah.
script
yes,
writers
Yes.
want that to happen.
that would really be the end game.
Good one.
That's good karma.
Oh my goodness.
We're like 3 for 3 today.
That
You
was
guys are
pretty
just
good.
Firing them. I can't keep up. I don't want to keep up, actually. I
All right, guys, we've made our picks. We
Yes.
don't exactly know who's going to be the two teams standing in the Super Bowl just yet,
Yes.
but we do know some of the entertainment that the big game is offering on the
Ooh.
ninth
Right.
island. I'm gonna
Hit us,
read
Kyle.
this down. We got Post Malone, we have Reba
Oh,
McEntire,
wow.
and Andra Day. They've all been confirmed as pregame performers at the Super Bowl. McEntire will sing the McEntire will sing the national anthem. Post Malone will take care of America the Beautiful, and Day will do Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Slay.
Now, Usher is the halftime show, Usher baby, and he says that his preparations are, quote, on another level. And hey, I mean,
Wow.
The way you said.
Source question mark?
this is the script that was put in front of me, but he says on another level now. Now he's
Okay.
releasing his 9th studio record, Coming Home, on Super Bowl Sunday. The NFL's grand finale will take place at Las Vegas's Allegiant Stadium on February 11th. I'm excited about some of these names that were put out there. I think
Yeah.
Post Malone has an underrated good singing voice. I know he's known for rapping, but some of his
he does too.
acoustic stuff, I jam to that in the car all the time.
You can jam to it too. It's always funny to me how I feel like there's 3 types of people that watch the Super Bowl. Like one group for football, the other group for halftime, and then the other group for like food and
That's
everything.
So true.
That is.
I feel like that's the big kind of like big 3 in my mind.
Oh yeah, they're
And,
at every Super Bowl party.
That's why I
Yeah.
think this is a good lineup because it gets everyone involved.
I think they should have made it quick. If the Chiefs do go, like I have to say it.
no.
Uh-oh.
I have to say it. Like,
Oh no.
does
I mean,
Taylor Swift join Usher?
I would
Does-
love to have, not that like anything to do with Travis, whether the Chiefs make it or not. I would love to have Taylor perform at a Super Bowl one day.
She should.
That's just
yeah.
100% up to her.
Should definitely have
Yeah.
her own halftime
Yeah,
show.
I
I think she
love
should
that.
too.
That would be insane.
But what if Usher's there? She just walks down from her little booth from
From
Mama,
the
Mama
suite?
Kelsey from the suite.
What can Usher
She
say?
walks down
He'd say,
and joins
"Thank you."
Usher.
He would
She
say,
just-
please.
Yeah,
Hands the mic
right?
over.
Yeah.
He just hands the
walks
mic.
off
Take it
stage.
away.
He just like,
think
ladies
that
and
was-
gentlemen, Taylor Swift, and he's like, I'm done.
He's like, I'm out. This is
outta
part of the
here.
Eras tour.
Who was the Super Bowl halftime last year?
Rihanna.
Rihanna. That's
Yeah, it was
right.
Rihanna.
I was
She
getting,
made that huge comeback, right?
Yeah.
She hadn't been
Yeah.
She
singing
announced
That
her
for
was
a
a good
while.
pregnancy.
one.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was good.
That was a solid one. See, the thing is with like Super Bowl halftime shows, I mean, the last couple years not so much, but like you always look for like, okay, who's gonna pop up? Who's gonna
Yes.
who's gonna pop
Yeah.
pop in? Like I always remember the Coldplay one a couple years ago,
Yeah.
which really wasn't. I don't understand why Coldplay was the headliner.
Yeah.
Because you have Beyonce and Bruno Mars that
Yeah.
just stole the entire show from Coldplay, which not the best hype for a Super Bowl.
No.
So I don't know who okay guys, who do you think Usher would have if you were to have like surprise guests?
Surprise guess.
Well, Ludacris, don't they have that one song together? I also like Justin Bieber, maybe.
Oh,
Justin
They-
Bieber.
That's
Actually,
who
that would
I
kinda
in
sound-
my heart would want.
that's actually a good call.
Because they have a couple songs together, and this would get the girls involved.
Yes.
Which you
It
need to get
would.
the girls
Yeah.
involved. And I think like those are his most like nostalgic songs. So
Interesting.
if just
That's
if
pretty good.
JB
I think maybe Lil Jon shows up.
Okay,
Lil
yeah, I can
Jon.
see that.
Yeah.
They,
to do that song.
yeah.
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 I was thinking that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking.
exclamation point.
Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, I think Usher does stand on his own very well.
Yeah.
But if JB shows
If-
up,
See, the thing
the internet
is,
would
like,
go
I
insane.
personally would want that to happen. I just don't think it will. Just because I think JB's like off the grid.
Cienna.
Yeah.
Never
Yes.
say never. Okay.
oh,
I mean, I grew up on that, Davis. The fact that you know that.
What? How old do you think I am?
No, it's just like, no, just because like that was such a girl, like
and
we like
Oh.
at our sleepovers, we listened to that. You
Listen
know?
to that. Okay.
and I mean, to Sienna's defense, "Never Say Never" is not like necessarily one of his hits.
Yeah, it's not
It's
like
not,
Baby, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not. It's
But
not.
like, good for you for knowing that.
Thank you.
Like I really do like that.
you know, I try.
Because when
I
Jaden
like
Smith
all
is on the
music.
track,
Jaden,
like,
I was about to say when
I-
Jaden Smith pops up, I always see that clip on TikTok resurfacing of like Justin Bieber singing that as like an adult, and then adult Jaden Smith pops up on stage and they're like singing it as
Yeah.
adults, and the crowd is going nuts. I'm like, hey, same. I'd
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
go nuts.
Yeah, probably would
That's-
too.
It's. What was I gonna say? Let me.
I want to see
Yeah.
a reappearance of Bruno Mars.
Bruno
He's
Mars-
such
I
a
would
good
love
performer.
that.
Like
But-
I could just see it on repeat. Like
Yeah, he's
he is such a
amazing.
good performer.
The
And-
problem is like you can't bring anyone that's like kind of better than you. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
true.
the Coldplay
That's
situation,
true.
they
Yeah.
will take over. Like I
Yeah.
mean, as much as we love Usher, you bring Bruno Mars on, and it's like it's not about you anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's also weird when they bring in a group that has no connection to you. Like speaking
you
of
don't
Bruno
listen to
Mars,
it,
they
yeah.
put in, they brought in the Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
just like, it
It's
doesn't.
like what you guys do totally different things.
Yes.
There's no
It's
like
song
doesn't
together.
mix.
Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think like a a full Bruno Mars with the new music that he's put out since his last Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would cook with
that'd be good.
Anderson .Paak, Silk Sonic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It would have been great for this Super Bowl because they already have a residency in Vegas.
Didn't Usher have
I think
a
for
show?
A while.
Yeah.
I mean, like everybody has shows.
Yeah,
in Vegas.
everybody's always in Vegas for something, but I want to talk about the national anthem because I'm a kind of a country fan. I'm not don't know too much about. I don't listen to too much of Reba's music, but last year's Super Bowl national anthem was Chris Stapleton, Mr. Tennessee Whiskey himself, and if
favorite karaoke
that
song,
is my
right
go-to karaoke
that is the
song.
go-to
You guys
karaoke
know that.
song.
We do know that. Yeah.
And he killed the national anthem, so I'm excited to see what Reba does because, we need those cutaway shots of just extreme close-up of players' faces, coaches' faces, full tears crying. Full tears streaming down their face. I
wouldn't be surprised if they throw in a quick little cut in of Taylor Swift too, like her reaction, little reaction of
hand over heart.
Yeah, exactly.
With those bright red lips, just
yeah.
And the land. That's the thing too with like covered stadiums, the flyovers at the end of the song. You don't really get to. It's kind of like it's cool for us on TV, but like when you're in the stadium, you just hear it.
You just hear it. You don't even get to see it.
Yeah.
It's for everyone watching it on TV. Like
exactly.
The millions of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, Post Malone too. I mean, which one is America the Beautiful? That's not the one we would only do national anthem, right, in like elementary school and Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. I'm not the one.
Usually just that. I don't know. They kind of put everything for the Super Bowl, right?
That is true.
You kind of have to.
That is very true. Very true. And this is on NBC this year.
Think so, or CBS?
It's one of the two. I'm trying to think because like I want to know if the call, like the play-by-play, is gonna be Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico.
I think it is KHNL. If it's
might be
yeah, I think it must be. So it must be NBC.
So then we'll probably get Collinsworth and Tirico. But I mean, for Tony Romo to get to a Super Bowl, that would Jim Nantz and Tony Romo in the booth on Super Bowl Sunday. That's my
Tony Romo
true
kind of annoys me sometimes.
What?
Well, no, I love it, but he'll just call the play like exactly correct. Like he's like, all right, he's gonna go like on a streak right now. He's gonna go long on the outside, and sure enough, he does it, and the ball goes to the receiver.
That's
I'm
true.
like, how do you know this?
Yeah,
do you have like a playbook? Does he have like another headset on him that he's like listening to the play calls? Like, how does he know all this?
I just love when he gets so giddy about like an under review call.
He does, yeah.
He's like, he gets all like jumpy in the booth, and Jim Nantz has to be like, relax, Tony. Relax, Tony. It's just an incomplete pass. But I'm super stoked for the Super Bowl. I'm super stoked for the conference championships this weekend. It's going to be super fun. When do the Chiefs play, on Sunday or Saturday?
They both play Sunday.
They both play Sunday. Okay. So it's just going to be a real nervous weekend for a resident Chiefs fan.
Yes. If the Chiefs make it, we'll have to have another Lynn Kawano Cienna episode.
Yes.
We will all cram in here, and it will be recorded this time.
It will be recorded this time.
It will be recorded this time. But yeah, good luck to all the teams.
I know.
Like they're listening. Sorry. Dan Campbell is watching this right now.
As he should be.
Getting ready to bite off some kneecaps. I also want to say thanks so much for you guys for listening or watching this episode of HNN Overtime. To listen to any of our other episodes, you can head to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get the rest of our HNN podcasts. Be sure to check out the video version on the HNN YouTube channel. Follow our Instagram page. It is where you're going to see all these fun graphics, these fun clips.
Little extra bloopers.
A little bit of bloopers maybe in the future. But that's where all the fun is. So you better follow that Instagram account. For Cienna, Pilotin, Davis, Pitner, I'm Kyle Chinen. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Aloha.
This podcast is sponsored by Happy Warrior Kava. Be a happy warrior. Drink, relax, and enjoy the strong and smooth taste of the best-selling kava in the islands. Happy Warrior Kava.